Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel, and thanks for joining me for this tutorial for a love background. I'm going to cut this out of plastic, and I am not going to be bridging all of the centers of the O's. I'm not going to be connecting those to the rest of the exterior plastic around the words, and I'm also not going to bridge the E's. So when this prints out, it's actually, I'm going to just kind of cover it up quickly and show you what it'll look like. When this cuts out, and when then you either airbrush or rake your icing over it, this O is going to translate to look like this. You're not going to have the detail of the inside because I'm not bridging this. If you wanted to bridge it, you could do that. But I am going to cut it out of plastic, and I'm going to have it look like this. The E will also be filled in like that. So just kind of an FYI there, that's how that will look when it cuts out if you choose to do this in plastic. First thing I'm going to do is bring in a shape. And I'm gonna, up here at the top toolbar, next to cut, there's this black square. That's where you can change the color of whatever you're working on. Basically, just for the purposes of the video here, I'm gonna change this to white so it shows up better. Also across the toolbar, I'm going to make this square 5.25 inches. My final square will be 5.5, but I'm gonna use this as a border for my designing. Then we're going to come over to the left toolbar and grab a text box. I'm using this font called Another Typewriter. It's one I downloaded from DaFont, and as you can see in the preview, it appears that the E's are filled in. I did a test cut this morning, and it actually does not cut that way. It does cut with the inside cut lines of the E. So if you wanted to make this in a silk screen, or if you wanted to bridge the E, then you can do so, and it will look like how this O is. It has both lines. So that is, again, it's called Another Typewriter. I got it off of dafont.com. Let's see, we're going to type in the word love, and I'm going to type that in multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 6 in my one that I was playing with, but I'm going to do 5 in this one just to see how that looks different, which one I like more. It's whatever you want, whatever you like. I'm going to make this, I did cut it out in the size of doing 6 across, and it cuts perfectly well. Let's see, so I'm going to change again, we're up at the top toolbar here. I'm going to change this to 5 inches. And then here is where it comes in handy to have made my borders 5.25, because I'm going to offset that to the left a little bit, and then I'm going to weld this grouping, because as you can see, and we have, I don't know how many words of love that is, but that would be a ton of layers over in the layer panel. So I'm going to weld that all together, and then I will duplicate that layer, and I'm going to bring this one all the way to the right border. Just kind of rough eyeball spacing these. They don't have to be perfect, because we're going to use the align tool here in a minute to get them all offset perfectly. And just duplicate several of those. I do want to make sure that I don't have, like this layer here, how I've got this off out of the edge. I want it within that border, so I'm going to keep that inside there. Same on the left of the L. It doesn't have to be right up to the edge, but I want to keep it inside that border. A few more of these. And if you wanted to do this, again, if you wanted to do it in the plastic, which I'm going to cut it in plastic, I'm going to lose those O centers and E centers. I'm cool with that. If you wanted to keep them, you would type in one word love and bridge that, and then start your duplications from there, so that you only have to bridge 2 letters, not every single time you've got the word love in there. All right, so I'm clicking off of that, and I'm just going to click somewhere at the bottom of this so that I can grab my square in the layers panel on the right. I'm going to click the little eyeball next to that, so that hides it, and I'm going to draw a box around all of these with my mouse. come up here to the Align tool, and I'm going to distribute them vertically, so that will offset them in any way that they weren't perfectly spaced already. Then I'm going to click off again and click on these L's, just coming to the far left edge and clicking on every other one. I know on the canvas it looks like it's choosing them all, but as you can see in the layers panel over here, every other one is chosen. Back up to the top toolbar, align left. So that's going to align all those L's all the way to the left edge. We're going to do the same thing, click off, and then click on every other. I'm going to grab these little E's at the end and align those to the right. So now I've got these vertically spaced evenly, aligned left on the left side and aligned right on the right side. I'm going to draw a box around those because I'm happy with the way that looks. That's what I'm going for, and I'm going to weld those. And then I'm going to unhide my square. So I'm going to come over here to the layers panel now, and I'm going to click that little eyeball again, and it brings my square back. And in the layers panel, I'm going to click on the square, and up at the top, I'm going to now change that to 5.5 inches. So now it's 5.5 inches square. Click off of there, drag my mouse through those two. Back up at the Align tool again. You'll use that a lot when you're designing, and I'm going to center that. And then now, since I've done welding in this project, once you do a weld, you cannot undo the weld and you can't do anything prior to the weld once you've saved. So normally I will attach my design. That way if I want to go back and make changes I can, but since I've done welding it really doesn't matter. I can't go back and change anything anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just slice that out. You'll see that in some of my videos that I will often say, you know, attach rather than do the slice, because you can't, it's easier to go back and change. It's faster to go back and change if you simply attach it. But again, since in this case I did all the welding anyway, it doesn't matter. So now I just wanted to differentiate which one was which, so I hid the one on the left. Slice results. So now you see we have the words cut out, and then this here is our stencil. So I'm going to delete this one, and then I'm going to click on this one over here. It was hard to tell which was which in the layers panel, that's why I moved them around. So this one I want to get rid of, and now we're left with this. I'm going to unhide the other one, just for reference, so you can see, depending on what kind of look you want, what you're going for. Here's one done with 6 across, here's one done with 5 across. You can see how much bigger they end up. So that gives you an idea of how many maybe you want to put across there. This is ready to cut in plastic if you are okay with losing those centers of the O's, and if you're okay with losing the centers of the E's, or you could cut this out for silk screen and sit down and have a lovely time weeding all of those O's and E's out. That'll be fantastic. Or like I would do is I'm going to cut it in plastic, just leave it, let it go. Or you could bridge the O and the E when you type in your very first word O. I'll go ahead and throw that in just at the end of the video, just because. So let's see, I have the word love, and I wanted to bridge that. What you would do is bring in a shape. Oops, not a circle. Not a circle, we're going to bring in a square. Unlock the corner of it there where the lock was. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger just so that it's easier and quicker to do. So you're going to place that over your O. I'm going to duplicate it so that I have one the exact same size for my E. And I'm just kind of eyeballing the middle of that E there. And now you'll see if I have that chosen and I choose the word, this, oh, the slice tool let me do it. They must have done an update. Usually you would have to weld that word before it would let you do that. Huh, it worked. Well, that must be a new update. Normally you have to weld your word first. Slice. And then you'll see I have all these trash pieces over here in the layers panel. So I'm going to leave this love slice result and I'm going to get rid of all of these extra trash pieces. So if you wanted to do this in plastic and you wanted to bridge it, I would recommend doing like the 5 words, not the 6, because this is pretty small to be trying to bridge. So I would definitely go bigger rather than smaller. And from here, you would duplicate 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 of those. I'm going to bring one over here, draw a box around them. I'm going to align the top, and then I'm also going to space them out. They're probably not far enough apart yet. Distribute horizontally. Yeah, they're not. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And bring this one way over here. Draw my box around there. Align. Distribute horizontally. I don't know why it's not grabbing those front ones. Looks like we're having a little bit of a glitch. Align the tops. Let's just go ahead and realign the tops. And distribute horizontally. There we go. So that distributed them horizontally. You would get the spacing how you like it. Bring it down to your 5-inch border. And then you would weld that. And then from here, you would go ahead and duplicate all of those. And again, weld just like we did earlier in the video. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to place them in the comments here or in our Facebook group. Happy crafting!